what I can do about that.
I won't warn you again.
Get out of my house.
Gladly.
Elizabeth, were you listening?
I didn't mean to, Father, but your voice is so strong. Who was that man?
It's no concern of yours.
Was it Mr. Sousa?
I already told you it's a matter that doesn't concern you.
I could hear you from my room. I was frightened.
Where's your sister?
Emma went to the train to meet Aunt Vinny. She knows you don't like her, Father. Please try to make her feel welcome.
I don't need you, Elizabeth, to remind me of manners. Why are you staring?
That coat. It's so heavy and the heat is so pressing.
You don't look well. Didn't you have breakfast?
I can't eat mutton broth for breakfast. Besides, it looked to me as if it had turned. When we had it for supper last night, I thought it tasted sour.
And what if it did?
I heard Mrs. Borden up and moving about. Did it make her ill?
She had a stomach complaint? Yes. So did I. I spent a bad night.
The mutton. I'm sure of it. Let me throw it out.
Have Bridget warm up for my lunch. Waste not, want not. And I'll ask you once again, Elizabeth, not to refer to your mother as Mrs. Borden.
She's not my mother, she's your wife. My mother is dead.
You're a strange girl. So much spite in you.
Father? Father, I would like to have a party here at the house.
You know my feelings about frivolity.
I have a position in Fall River.
Don't give yourself airs, my girl.
Some college students from Boston will be in church this weekend. I'd like to invite them to visit. You needn't worry about the expense. Emma and I will share in that.
My house is not a recreation hall.
You're being unreasonable, Father.
Perhaps when you've learned to refer to my wife as mother, then we can consider the matter. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Father. Ugh, it's so hot.
Would you like me to set out a pitcher of ice water, Miss Lizzie?
No, the more I drink, the thirstier I get.
You didn't have anything for breakfast. There's plenty left.
I was afraid there would be.
Your father does like mutton.
He wants you to heat up what's left for lunch.
Oh, I was hoping we could throw it out.
So was I.
It's all lumpy, and there's scum on top.
Serve it extra hot. My father's wife won't notice.
Never a scrap of food goes to waste in this house. The last place I worked had eggs for breakfast every morning. I could fix you some.
Don't trouble. Besides, if my father's wife saw me, she'd only use it against me. She'd say I was too grand to eat what everyone else did.
It isn't as if your father can't afford to eat better.
My father and his wife don't understand that life can be enjoyed. He only has two diversions, making money and keeping it.
That's a sore point with Mr. Sousa.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, you know how your father is. Never a day's late when it comes to my pay, but with people from the other side of town, it's different. Says if you give them all their money at once, they'll spend it foolishly.
You mean foreign people? Father's always afraid they're going to do something he won't approve of. Was that who he was arguing with, Mr. Sousa?
No, I haven't seen Mr. Sousa this morning.
Weren't you in the kitchen?
When?
Just a few moments ago.
No, I just came in from the barn.
Didn't you see someone leave the house?
No.
From the back?
No, I didn't.
I don't know why I fool with jigsaw puzzles. I don't like them.
Feeling better, Mrs. Borden?
Never mind how I'm feeling. It was probably your bad cooking that turned my stomach.
You've never complained of my cooking before.
It never made me sick before.
I'll need your keys.
Why?
You've got a guest coming. Miss Emma's bringing her back from the station.
I forgot.
Not likely.
You better out the room. It's probably stuffy. Turn the mattress and set out fresh sheets.
I know.
Don't open any of the other rooms. And when you're done, give me back the keys.
I always do, don't I?
I'm getting rid of her! Too much mouth. Let her go to Boston or Lawrence and sweat in the shoe factories. See how she likes that.
You won't get anyone to work as hard as she does for $3 a week.
She gets her meals.
Mutton broth.
I don't know why you remain in this house, Elizabeth. You hate it so?
It isn't this house I hate.
You have no reason to speak to me the way you do.
I'd prefer it if I had no reason to speak to you at all.
You make things so hard for your father and yourself. I can't change your feelings to me. But I wish you'd stop trying to turn Emma against me.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
You know perfectly well what I mean, Elizabeth. I won't put up with your ways much longer. I mean what I say.
Not feeling well?
I spent a bad night. Don't concern yourself. Hurry up, Aunt Minnie. I have to pay the price. I'm already taking care of that. I better go upstairs and dress.
That's a good idea. You wouldn't want Aunt Vinny to think you were slovenly.
Lizzie is so pleased you're coming to visit. Lizzie, she's here.
Aunt Vinny!
Oh, hello, Lizzie. Hello.
Are you tired?
No, not in the least, but I will sit down. Oh. This place hasn't changed much.
Father likes it this way. If you try to move a chair or hang up a picture, it upsets him terribly.
Andrew is as set in his ways as the everlasting hills of Zion. Oh, that reminds me. How is your Sunday school coming along?
Didn't you hear? The church has put Lizzie in charge of all of the Sunday school classes.
Oh?
I'm to supervise.
Well, they must think a great deal of your abilities.
Well, I do my best.
Don't listen to her, Aunt Betty. She's being modest. You know how she is. Lizzie can do anything she sets her mind to.
Well, in all fairness, the Sunday school situation isn't all it might be. I feel it's awfully important to keep the children's interest and make Sunday school something they look forward to.
When I was a little girl, I always had trouble staying awake in Sunday school. But I didn't have a teacher like Lizzie Borden.
How long are you staying? A long time, I hope.
I have some business matters to discuss with your father.
Oh?
But that shouldn't take long, and then the three of us will have a nice visit. Where's Abby?
Ugh, my father's wife will be down later. She isn't feeling well.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I think it's the heat.
Oh, I don't think Bridget was with us the last time you were here, Aunt Vinny.
Oh no, it was a girl named, Maggie.
Maggie Witch of Vermont. She's working in a cannery.
This is my dear mother's sister, Mrs. Morse.
Welcome, ma'am. I just turned your mattress.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. Well, I'll go to my room and wash off some of this grime. Trains are so dirty.
There's the suitcase.
I opened the windows upstairs, but I'm afraid there's not much fresh air.
Oh, I hate August. The heat always makes me feel as if there's something hanging over me I just can't throw off.
It's going to be such fun having Aunt Betty stay with us.
I wonder what business she has with father.
Probably something to do with Mother's estate.
Well, yes, but what?
We're always so concerned about estates and wills and business. You and Father make a pair.
Watch out for the pennies, Emma. The dollars take care of themselves.
Did you ask yet?
Who?
Father, of course. Did you ask about the party?
Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
He said he'd think about it.
Oh, Lizzie, I'd have never dared to ask. Father frightens me so.
You let me worry about father.
It'll be such fun to have a party. And it won't even cost him anything.
I explained that you and I would bear the expense. Are you ready for your surprise?
Surprise.
I saw this in the jeweler's window. The gem in the center is your birthstone.
Lizzie, I think you're so good and kind. You're the most thoughtful person I've ever known.
Well, go on, take it.
I'll wear it at the party.
Well, you better go see if you can make Aunt Vinny comfortable. It's too bad we don't have a garden of our own. If only our father's wife didn't consider fresh flowers a foolishness. Run along, see Aunt Vinny. Come in, Mr. Sousa. It's quite all right.
Your father wanted me to cut down some dead trees.
My father isn't here now. He'll be back for lunch.
You know, I don't think I can start till next week. Mrs. Churchill wants me to chop down some dead trees too. It's hard work. Takes a few days.
You can discuss that with my father.
There's a tree out back of the barn that ought to come down too.
I'm sure my father will be agreeable if the price is right.
I got a new one that'll do the chick.
A new what?
See? Nice, huh?
There's more. We face the future fortified only by the lessons we have learned from the past. It is today that we must create the world of the future in the very real sense. I derive a great deal of strength from the writings of Miss Anthony. She's a true pioneer.
Lizzie, you're the best speaker I know, but I may have to hear it many more times before I can decide what to do about it.
What do you think about women's rights, Aunt Benny?
Oh, I must confess, I haven't given the matter much thought.
Well, that's the problem. If women don't give the matter much thought, we can hardly expect men to do so.
She's right.
Your niece has clearly been an inspiration to us all, Mrs. Morris. That isn't to say there hasn't been some criticism.
Some men are still pushing against us, and many women haven't given the matter much thought. Or worse, they feel as though if they're alive and cared for, nothing should change.
This is very eye-opening for me, but some people just aren't ready to hear it.
There will always be people who want to hold back progress. I agree wholeheartedly with the aims of the women's suffrage movement. Like Susan B. Anthony, I feel the American woman is close to being accepted as equal under the laws of our land.
She isn't now.
Well, certainly not. Bridget, you ask the same questions every time we discuss this topic.
It's hard to understand what that's about to me.
There's more to it than that. Surely you have aspirations.
I have.
And what are they?
I would like to make another 50 cents a week.
Oh, I'm afraid you and Miss Anthony have a rough road ahead.
More like a mountain with a painting like that.
The way I look at it, another 50 cents is as good as a boat any day.
My aunt is quite right. Bridget, you're hopeless.
Oh, I suspect I am.
It's a perfectly reasonable aspiration, Bridget. But without considering these new ideals, you won't see generosity such as that from men like Mr. Borden.
I thought you'd be finished with your seminar by now, Elizabeth.
We're almost finished, Father.
I'll finish up in the kitchen.
It was especially interesting tonight, Mrs. Borden. You should join us one evening.
Oh, yes, we can teach you how women's rights are right and good for all. And Lizzie is such a great speaker.
Emma, if you and your sister stay up late, make sure you lock all the doors.
Ah, yes, I didn't realize how late it was.
Imagine.
Caroline, we should really let the Bordens retire.
Yes, Eve, Lizzie, I have plenty more to think about now. Thank you.
I must be off as well. It is a shame Reverend Mr. Jubb didn't make it.
Oh, Mr. Jubb. I didn't realize he shared my daughter's enthusiasm for women's suffrage.
Well, Lizzie is a persuasive speaker.
Don't tell me she's persuaded you.
She set me to thinking.
I credited you with more sense, Vinny.
No need to be rude, Andrew. I believe Lizzie is quite right. Women don't share equally in our society.
Why should they? They're sheltered, cared for, protected.
Yes, at the insistence of men.
Stuff and nonsense. I hope you don't preach any of this rubbish in your Sunday school classes.
I'm a God-fearing woman, Father. I never preach anything I didn't feel was right and good for all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mrs. Morris.
I hope we'll be seeing more of each other, my dear.
As do I.
Good night, Alice.
Good night, Emma. Don't forget a little shopping trip tomorrow.
She won't.
Good evening, Mr. Borden.
Alice?
Oh, why, speak of the devil, it's Reverend Joe.
I'm sorry for being late. I had to visit the hospital, and before I was through, the time had slipped away. Good evening, Mr. Borden.
Mr. Jubb?
Would you like something hot to drink, Father?
Yes, I would. But I'll let Bridget get it. It's what she's paid for.
Have I come at a bad time?
You should be used to Father and his ways by now. He doesn't mean anything by his curtness.
I'll be on my way now.
Wait, I'll walk you to the corner.
Oh, I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
I'm Mrs. Morris, Lizzie's aunt.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. I thought you two had met.
Do sit down.
Thank you. How did the seminar go?
Mrs. Churchill didn't show up.
I was afraid she wouldn't.
Oh?
I could do with some warm milk. Helps me sleep.
Don't let us run you off.
Oh, I'll only be in the kitchen. Reverend Judd, may I get anything for you?
No, thank you. You're very kind.
You're acting rather mysterious. What's the trouble?
It's Mrs. Churchill.
Ugh, what about her?
I'm afraid she's behaving badly.
How do you mean?
Well, you know she's taught the senior Sunday school class for many years.
I'm not likely to forget it. She reminds me of that fact every chance she gets.
Yes, she is rather possessive about the position, isn't she?
I believe she feels she has the post for life.
Well, the point is, what I mean to say, well, let me see how I can best express it.
Poor Aaron. What a task you have, trying to keep everyone in the fellowship happy. I think I know what you're trying to say. Mrs. Churchill is upset that she wasn't appointed supervisor. Well, that's it, isn't it?
I admire the way you go right to the heart of any problem.
Well, I'm not exactly a diplomat, am I?
I wouldn't say that. I've never doubted your abilities. You're so clever and dependable, intelligent.
Well, these are the virtues, I presume, that make me qualified to supervise?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Churchill doesn't see it that way, and she's making things rather difficult for you.
Exactly.
I'll see what I can do to unruffle her feathers. It's difficult enough having her for a neighbor. I do not want her for an adversary.
You seem to have solved my problem with a minimum of effort. As usual, Miss Borden.
Leave Mrs. Churchill to me, Mr. Jubb.
Don't think me rude, but I must be on my way. I promised I'd visit the jail. Seems there's need of a clergyman there, as well as at the hospital.
I'll walk part of the way with you.
I'd like that.
Aunt Vinny?
Yes?
Mr. Jubb is leaving. I'll walk him to the corner.
Oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, Reverend.
Will you be staying long in Fall River?
That depends.
I'll be back shortly.
Good night, Mrs. Morris.
Good night, Reverend Judd.
I put in a dash of cinnamon.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. It looks good.
It's nice and hot, that's the main thing. gone out?
With Reverend Jubb.
Oh, he didn't stay long, did he?
I suspect he preferred to be alone with my niece.
I'll be in my room if you need anything. Mr. Borden will come and double check the doors are locked.
He certainly worries about locking up, doesn't he?
Every door in the house has a lock and key.
What's he afraid of?
There were some robberies in the neighborhood.
None here, I trust.
Someone got into the barn and stole a harness.
Didn't anyone see them?
Happened early in the morning, before anyone was up. Good night, Mrs. Morse.
Good night, Bridget.
Reverend Mr. Jubb, gone.
You didn't exactly make him welcome, Andrew.
Well, if he wants to visit my house, let him come at a decent hour.
9 o'clock in the evening isn't exactly the hour before dawn.
Might as well be, as far as I'm concerned. You shouldn't encourage Elizabeth in her wild ideas.
Well, from what little I saw of him, I got the impression that he was rather taken with your daughter.
Elizabeth can be quite charming when she chooses. Where are they?
Oh, gone for a walk. Lizzie said she'd be back shortly.
I'll wait up on them.
There's no need, Andrew. She's a young woman, capable of taking care of herself.
Well, I prefer to wait until everyone's in.
So you can lock up?
Yes.
You know, you haven't changed much over the years. You never were what some people might term a trusting man.
Why are you here?
For a visit.
Is that all?
There's no sense in trying to deceive you, is there?
Say what you have to say.
Andrew, before my sister died, she made it clear that the property she owned in New Hampshire should come to me. I haven't pressed the point. Until now, I haven't felt the need.
Not legal, you know, unless it's in black and white.
We both heard her say it. You promised that you would see to her wish.
She was a sick woman.
We both know that. She knew it too. What of it?
So what you're saying is, you want to hold me to the wish of a dying woman. She didn't know what she was saying half the time.
I've suffered some financial setbacks. The truth of the matter is, I'm penniless.
You should learn to live frugally.
We can't all live the way you do, Andrew. It takes talent to be a successful miser. Forgive me, I shouldn't have said that.
It's the sort of thing I'd expect from Elizabeth. You both have much in common.
I would like the property. I would like for you to honor my sister's wish.
You have no claim on the property.
Legally, perhaps not. Morally, I am most assuredly entitled to it.
Then why have you waited all this time?
Hoping you would give me the deed without my asking. Having to come to you like this, it's humiliating. I haven't pressed the point before because I haven't needed help until now.
I will give you a small sum.
I have no wish to sell the property.
The property is not yours to sell, Vinny. It's mine, legally. Which is the only right that matters.
You can't believe that.
It's more important that you believe it. I believe there is a certain nuisance value to your claim, and with the money I shall give you, I trust even that will cease.
Nuisance value.
I shall, of course, require you to sign a paper that the sum I pay relieves me of any financial responsibility towards you.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Be sensible, Vinny. I'm a businessman. I have no time for sentiment. What I propose is fair and just.
Sometimes I wonder what my sister ever saw in you.
that needn't concern you.
You were never this cold before. Never so grasping, never so selfish. I always thought you a man without much heart. But to deny your dead wife's wish, it's cruel, wicked. Don't think I don't know what's made you the way you are. Abby, she's done it. She's told you to hold on to every bit and piece of land, hasn't she?
I've never seen you this way before, Vinny. I don't understand you at all.
I'll ask you again, Andrew. Will you honor my sister's dying wish? Will you deem me the New Hampshire farm?
Nighttime is as hot as daytime in Fall River. There's not a hint of breeze.
We'll talk about this later.
What's wrong with them, Vinny?
Family business. Don't concern yourself.
Well, I'm family, aren't I?
Why trouble your pretty little head with business affairs?
Well, then you play right into Lizzie's hands. Is it any wonder she fights for women's rights when you supply wood for the fire?
You're awfully fond of your sister, aren't you, Emma?
I think Lizzie is the most remarkable woman that I've ever known. I guess that's because after Mama died, she was the only woman close by I could love and trust. I guess I've always put her in the role of mother on a pedestal.
But you have a mother again. Abby.
I wish you and Lizzie didn't quarrel so often. I wish we could all be happy together.
You're a good daughter, Emma. Go to bed.
You see, you treat me like a child and you don't even know it.
Well, you'll always be a child to me, Emma. You're my baby.
Father, you can be so kind at times.
Poor Aaron. He has such a good heart. People take advantage.
You have a good heart too, Elizabeth. You should be careful people don't take advantage.
I'll try to see that it doesn't happen.
Are you sure I can't get you anything from the kitchen? There's Johnny cake.
Oh no, I've had quite enough of Bridget's cooking for a while. That's why your mother and I ate out this evening. What if I told you I was planning on selling this house?
Selling it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Emma would disapprove, but I wish we could sell it. I've always hated it.
But where would we move?
I have no idea. Only a passing thought.
Father, there are some wonderful new houses being built on the hill above the harbor. Let me show them to you. They even have indoor plumbing. I hate the outhouse.
Indoor plumbing is newfangled, expensive, and unnecessary.
Well, some of us are better suited to the farmyard than others.
That's enough.
You know, we were having such a pleasant time until you came downstairs.
I live here too, Elizabeth. I try not to get in your way. Why must you dislike me so?
It's not easy for a man living in a house of women.
Did you lock up?
I'll tend to it later.
Go around and see to the new barn door. You don't want to lose another harness.
Father,
Hmm.
Thank you for letting Lizzie and I have our party.
Why doesn't Father stand up to that peasant?
I believe he's weary of arguing.
How could he marry such a woman after Mother? She's petty and dull, and stupid.
I have never known anyone who could get so much pleasure out of being so unpleasant.
Remember your promise. You will never call her Mother.
Lizzie, please.
You will never call her Mother.
Never have I?
Why must you badger Emma? Let her alone.
Aunt Vinny, what's wrong?
I've been crying.
Oh, forgive me, I don't mean to. I can't help myself.
Well, come sit here.
I asked your father to help me. I asked him to give me the farm in New Hampshire.
The one Mother wanted you to have.
Yes. He won't do it.
But that was Mother's dying wish.
The stocks I counted on for dividends have gone down to nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, why didn't you come to Emma and me?
We have some money Mother left us, our trust funds.
I could live at the farm. I could rent out land. I wouldn't have to depend on charity.
You say Father refused?
Yes. He refused.
Why would he turn his back on Mother's dying wish?
There's your answer. She has turned your father against me. She's the one.
You may come in, Sousa. Well, what is it?
I chopped down the dead tree.
Good.
Mr. Borden, sir.
What is it?
I wonder, Mr. Borden, sir, could I have my money?
Sousa, if I were to give you people too much money all at once, you'll only spend it foolishly.
I did the work fast. I did a good job.
I would expect no less. A true workman is worth his hire. Always remember that.
Then I can earn my money.
Here you are.
Where's the rest?
Each week, I will give you a certain amount. That way, you'll be protected against yourself.
You owe me from last month, too.
You people don't understand money. You will get what you are owed, but in a sensible, business-like fashion. Trust me, Sousa. It's for your own good.
Now, I do not wish to be treated like a child, Mr. Borden.
Don't take that tone with me.
I want the money now.
You'll get your money when I decide you deserve it. Get out.
Don't talk to me as if I was a dog.
I'll send for the police. You know what they do to you people when there's a complaint? No, Sousa. The back door.
No, Borden. The front door.
Mr. Sousa, watch what you're doing. Did you see that, Mr. Borden?
I apologize, Mrs. Churchill. I suspect he's been drinking. You know how these foreigners are. I ran him off. He won't be working around here again. Please, sit down.
It's not safe to walk across the street anymore.
I'll deal with Sousa in my own way.
Oh, it's stifling in the barn.
What are you doing in the barn?
I want to go fishing. I was looking for a sinker. Good morning, Mrs. Churchill.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
I suspect you two probably want to talk about church matters. If you'll excuse me, Mrs. Churchill.
Of course, it's fine.
I apologize again, Sousa.
It's already forgotten.
What about Mr. Sousa?
He almost knocked me down.
Well, that doesn't sound like him. Mr. Sousa is usually so quiet about everything he does.
I didn't make it up.
I'm sure you didn't. May I offer you a cup of coffee?
No, thank you.
Tea?
Nothing.
I've been meaning to pay you a visit for some time.
I do realize your time is quite valuable, and I do live so far away. Such a great distance to travel, right across the street.
I've been so busy.
Not too busy to plan a day's fishing.
What did you want to talk to me about?
You know perfectly well, Elizabeth.
Won't you call me Lizzie?
No,
Can't we be friends?
that depends on you.
You're upset because the church fellowship has appointed me in charge of the Sunday school classes.
You had so many other committees. You have so many other interests. I devoted many years to my Sunday teaching. I was teaching long before you got interested. The fellowship owes me something. I deserve the position you've taken from me.
I haven't taken anything from you. I was offered the post and I accepted.
Of course, I don't contribute as heavily to the church as you do. I'm not wealthy.
Nor am I.
You're not exactly penniless.
Are you suggesting that I bought the post?
I'm not as clever as you. I can't twist people around my finger. You have a champion, Reverend Mr. Jubb.
What you've suggested is both inaccurate and insulting.
I deserve to be the head of the Sunday school department.
Well, you're not. I am. And what would you suggest I do?
Resign.
You can't be serious.
I am.
I see. Well, I'll be just as candid with you. I believe I was selected because, for some time, the results in the classes have been less than admirable. I've observed your methods, and frankly, I consider you a poor teacher.
How dare you!
Not only will I keep my new post, but I shall do everything in my power to persuade Mr. Jubb to retire you to some less taxing position with the fellowship.
You take away the one thing that means everything to me.
Oh, I'm concerned for the children, not for you. I know your feelings toward me. It would be impossible for us to work together.
If you take away my teaching, what will I do?
Have you considered becoming a Quaker?
Why, Mrs. Churchill, I didn't know you were here. What's the matter with her?
She's thinking of becoming a Quaker.
A Quaker? Why are you laughing?
Oh, it must be the heat. I can feel it baking my brain.
I'll be off now, Abby.
Did you tell her?
Later.
Tell me what?
It's not important.
Tell her, Andrew.
Elizabeth, your mother and I...
She's not my mother.
Your mother and I think it would be best if you...
If I what, Father?
If you live somewhere else.
Live somewhere else?
You're not happy here?
Live somewhere else?
Never a kind word from you. You've turned Emma against me.
I was born in this house. My mother lived and died in this house.
Elizabeth! It's pointless to argue. You've money of your own. You have no need to depend on me.
No!
It has to be.
No!
Be reasonable. Elizabeth!
Never!
Are you satisfied, Abby?
I won't be satisfied until I can call this house my own. You've been a good father to her, Andrew. If she doesn't see that, more's the pity for Elizabeth Borden.
Where are you going?
Send the other one on her way. That one's up to no good.
Sad day when the hens do all the crowing. Elizabeth, come back. Be reasonable. We'll work out something. Elizabeth, can you hear me? Elizabeth! Ah.
You're still at home, Father.
Hmm.
I thought you'd be at the bank by now.
No, I have matters to attend to here. Where are you off to?
I'm going shopping with Alice. Maybe I'll find something special and buy it for you.
That'd be thoughtful. Thank you. You run along and say hello to Alice for me.
Yes, Father, I will. You seem preoccupied. Are you all right?
Yes, run along.
It's awfully hot, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I'll be back in time for lunch.
I'll be leaving now, Andrew.
There's no need.
You've made the need.
I'll be happy to give you the small sum I mentioned.
I'm not one to be grateful for small favors.
Well, aren't you going to say goodbye to the girls?
They're not girls, Andrew. They are women. And I prefer to write to my nieces. It's less awkward.
Well, I'll get out the buggy and drive you to the station.
No need. Do you believe in the Almighty?
What a strange question. Most certainly, I do. I always have. I always will.
Then you must realize that he'll be punished. Good day, Andrew.
Be sensible, Vinny. Take my offer.
Where's Aunt Vinny going?
Oh, there you are, Elizabeth. Where were you?
Outside.
Didn't you hear me call to you?
No, you didn't answer me. Where's Aunt Vinny going?
She's leaving Fall River.
When?
Now.
Without saying goodbye?
She's mad at me. She'll come to her senses in time. She said she'd write to you girls.
More of your wife's doing.
You know, Abby is right. You've never given her a chance.
I'm going to the station with Aunt Vinny.
Fine.
Do as you please. I'm out of patience with all of you. Tasteless. Like everything else in this house. Abby? Abby, come down, will you? Abby, can you hear me? Abby! Bridget, is that you? Bridget! Abby? Who is that? Who's there? Whoever it is, answer me. No, put that down. No. No. No!
Father, who was that running from the yard? Father? I didn't see her anywhere, Father. Did Aunt Vinny say what train she'd be taking? Father?
I forgot my keys in the bag. Sorry, Miss Lizzie. This heat is awful, isn't it?
You look so pale. I'll take these into the kitchen for you. You'd better sit down and rest.
You know, I shouldn't walk in the morning sun. It always makes me feverish.
Here. Sit down. Maybe a snack will